Guys, these spoilers right here have to be fake. Now, these spoilers actually released back on Thursday, right after the last episode of Boruto I was actually released, and I did say in the next 24 hours, some spoilers of the next couple of episodes may or may not be released, and I turned out to be right. Thank God I was right. But I'm gonna tell you guys right now, these spoilers right here gets me extremely hyped for the next couple of episodes, and you guys are gonna see why when I actually do cover them. Now, don't get me wrong, these spoilers aren't gonna be containing the actual plot or the overall plot in terms of Kawaki and the Momoshiki and the Otsutsuki clan, but again, I think this right here, to be honest, is on the Zabuza type of level. Like Zabuza arc, I believe that this right here can possibly be that type of arc. Now, when I first seen this arc, or when we first got into this trip thing, I had no expectations for this. I'm like, no guys, this is not going to be another Zabuza arc, but these spoilers right here are actually changing my mind. So going into the actual spoilers, I know you guys are like, yo, what the hell is this guy talking about? Just read the damn spoilers already. Alright, so episode 28, the title is called Proclaiming the Declaration of War. And going into the actual paragraph, it says, after meeting Boruto and his friends, Kagura of the Mist has set his mind at ease. Clear of all doubts about himself, he is now ready to inherit the Mizukage's twin swords. I'm not even going to act like I know how to pronounce that name, but it says Kagura tells this to Boruto, but then Hoshigaki Shizuma appears before them. Shizuma, being unsatisfied with the peaceful world, is aiming to revive the seven swordsmen of the mist and surrounding the world with war once again. So right here, it actually looks like Kagura actually feels confident in himself to be one of the next seven swordsmen of the mist, because it says that Kagura has set his mind at ease and he is ready to inherit the Mizukage's twin swords. But it looks like all of that came to an abrupt end, which Shizuma actually came and he actually voiced his dissatisfaction with the peaceful world as of right now. And this right here, to be honest, it looks like it's going to be an episode that's actually leading up to something. And one thing we can look forward to this is Boruto and Hoshigaki Shizuma actually coming face to face again, because as you guys know, he did come face to face with Shizuma already, but he really didn't know who he was, and now Boruto kind of has an idea of who he is and what he actually stands for. And also we actually get to see how Kagura acts around Shizuma, because as you guys know, they're probably like the polar opposite. So this episode is going to be like a kind of interesting slash petty episode. It's just going to let us see how they actually react to each other. I feel like we might have an encounter between Kagura and Shizuma in this episode. We may not, but going into the next episode, episode 29, the title is The New Seven Swordsmen. Going into the actual paragraph, it says, as Kagura opens the vault containing the demon swords of the village, Shizuma and his friends steal them.
Say again?
Shizuma and his friends steal them.
What'd you say?
The newly formed seven swordsmen begin their rebellion in order to return the village to its former bloody mist days. Boruto teams up with Sarada in order to help Kagura since he learns about the turn of events. Now this episode right here looks like it's going to be extremely great. After this episode right here, there's going to be a lot of anticipation of the actual climax of this arc, because it's looking like everybody's gearing up. And as you guys see, it says Shizuma and his friends steal them, which means they steal all of these seven swordsmen's blades, and it's looking like they are actually going to be the new, or claim the new seven swordsmen of the mist. Now if you guys don't know, these swords, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know, these swords are extremely overpowered. For example, if we take Kisame, the sword he has, Samehada, basically turned him into like a tailed beast without the tail. It basically gathered a lot of chakra, but that's just one sword that you guys understand. This sword right here could make a regular Genin or a regular Chunin Jonin level, and if the shinobi is strong enough, it could possibly push this person to be an S rank. Obviously right here, this is not going to be a good thing. It looked like Kagura actually got caught slipping, so Shizuma actually stole it. And another thing that's extremely interesting for us is the fact that Sarada is going to be involved in this actual arc. A lot of people have been saying like, yo, where's Sarada, and everybody just brushed it off as that Sarada had her whole arc back in Gaiden and she's not really going to be in this arc a lot. But it's looking like this is not going to be the case, and it's going to be extremely interesting to see how she actually reacts. Now going into episode 30, the title says Sharingan versus Twin Swords Kiba. Now if you guys don't know what the Twin Swords Kiba is, I'll put it in a video right now so you guys are seeing it right now. And these swords are actually extremely powerful. Going into the actual paragraph, it says, thanks to Chojiro's help, Boruto and Sarada reaches Shizuma's location. However, Shizuma's Scarlet Mist Jutsu blocks everyone's vision and separates the three from each other, due to which they are forced to fight one-on-one with their opponents. Sarada begins fighting a female ninja who possesses the twin swords Kiba. So this right here looks like it's going to be extremely crazy. And honestly, it says that there are three ninja. I'm not really sure who the three are. I'm guessing it would be Boruto, Sarada, and Kagura. But again, I have no idea. It could be Boruto, Sarada, Iwabe, or it could be Boruto, Sarada, and Mitsuki. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Who do you guys think the three people are going to be right here? But obviously, the big thing about this paragraph is the fact that we're going to actually see Sarada fight. And she's going to be fighting another female from the Mist Village. Now, how strong this female, I have no idea. Presumably she's not going to be extremely strong, mainly because if the fighter was extremely strong, Sarada probably wouldn't have a fighting chance against them, mainly because they're wielding the twin swords Kiba. Sarada has the Sharingan. It's going to be extremely interesting to see how far she developed her Sharingan. The one thing about Sarada is the fact that she can most likely see through the Scarlet Mist jutsu, mainly because she has the Sharingan. The Sharingan actually gives her the ability to see through jutsus like this, but the thing is, I'm not completely sure if she has control over the Sharingan or if she knows completely how to use it, mainly because it's new to her. She basically just got it, so I'm not completely sure if she knows how to use it to see through other people's jutsu just yet. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how far she actually got with the Sharingan and how she actually utilizes it. One thing I really want to see with Sarada is how she actually implements Sasuke's movement, because as you guys know in the guidance, she really modeled or she really looked like or fought like Sakura a lot. There was one time when she actually honed all of her chakra into her fist and she punched that little animal, which is extremely crazy. And if you guys read the manga had her actually do that again, and she punched the floor and she basically injured a whole bunch of the Shunin clones. So the guidance arc really made her look a lot like Sakura, and it'll be interesting to see if Sarada would actually implement some lightning style jutsu or some other styles and make her look a lot like her father Sasuke, because as you guys know, Boruto is actually starting to implement some of his chakra natures, which is wind, lightning, and water. We actually seen in the last episode, I think it was the outro, he actually infused some lightning within the Shuriken. He also in the last episode started to use some wind styles, so it is only right for Sarada to actually have some styles and also implement some styles into her jutsu. So hopefully we actually do see her get a lot better in terms of that. But going into the next episode, it says Boruto and Kagura. Now going into the paragraph, it says Boruto wants to save his friend Kagura and take him back to safety, but Kagura refuses to come along and swings his sword at Boruto. Boruto tries to save Kagura from the spell, which Kagura should have already broken, but Kagura is unable to break free from Shizuma's command. At that moment, a certain someone makes an entrance. Now, this right here is extremely interesting, mainly because it looks like Shizuma is probably going to put Kagura under some sort of genjutsu, but it might not actually be a genjutsu. The paragraph specifically says Shizuma's command, so I'm not completely sure if Shizuma's a higher rank than Kagura. Before, we actually did see a breakdown of these characters, and they said they're probably like in the same age range. Shizuma may actually have some sort of spell or some sort of command over Kagura where he has to obey his orders. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. This is kind of interesting to me. Maybe it's going to just be a genjutsu, or maybe it's going to be a class rank thing where Kagura definitely has to pay attention and listen to Shizuma and do whatever he says. And if it is a genjutsu, Kagura is in trouble, because it says that Kagura should have definitely broken free already, and Kagura seems to be having trouble breaking free. So it's only a couple of things that really would allow Kagura to break free. If he is indeed in a deep genjutsu, and he'd have to do it himself, or Boruto or someone else would have to knock him out of that genjutsu. But again, it says that Boruto already tried to knock him out of Shizuma's command, so I'm not completely sure with that. One thing I want to key in on is the last part of this actual paragraph. It says, at that moment, a certain someone makes an entrance. Now, we have no idea who this is, and this right here is actually going back to the earlier episodes where it actually says 3 shinobi were actually split up due to Shizuma's jutsu, and because of that, it's kind of making it harder for us to guess who this other person who's going to step on the battlefield is. Now, it could be Iwabe, it could be Mitsuki, it could be someone else like that, or it could even be Chojuro. Chojuro could possibly try to help Kagura and steer him in the correct direction, and I think that right there is completely possible. One thing that I'm hoping, one thing I'm praying for, is for it to actually be Mitsuki, but Mitsuki steps on in his Sage mode, and you just see Mitsuki just in complete Rage mode. I think that right there would be a nice add to this arc, and I think it would hype this arc up a lot. I mean, we've already gotten Boruto and Boruto's dojutsu, we've gotten Sarada's arc, and we got Sarada's dojutsu. A lot of people have been saying that they want a backstory on Mitsuki. The thing about Mitsuki is that him turning into Sage mode or developing that Sage mode already happened. So for them to actually put him turning into Sage mode, it would have to be in the filler, and this right here isn't necessarily a filler. So him actually coming on and just turning on Sage mode and just trying to save Kagura from Shizuma and the rest of the 7 swordsmen of the mist, I think it would be an extremely great addition, mainly because this would be Mitsuki's arc. Now, one question I'm actually having is, where are all the mist villages joining? Because as you guys know, this is Chojiro's command. I mean, or where are all the Anbu Black Ops of the mist village? I mean, I'm pretty sure that Chojiro has some joining by his side. Again, it's a whole village. Just to think that 7 people could possibly try to steal the swords and then just rebel against everybody else, that's kind of, I don't know about that. But let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below. One thing that could be a possibility is the fact that a lot of joining also agree with Shizuma and feel like the Mist Village should actually go back to the Blood Mist Village, and then he would have a bunch of Jonin also try to rebel against Chojuro. But again, I don't know how that would balance out, but nevertheless, it's going to be an interesting arc. And I actually, as I said earlier in the video, I really never thought this arc would be that interesting, mainly because it would kind of be a bridge between Boruto turning into a Genin. But honestly, as of right now, as we're seeing, it's going to be extremely interesting, and seeing how Kagura actually comes back to the light and gets out of Shizuma's command is going to be interesting to see. But let me know what you guys think about these spoilers in the comment section below. What episode are you looking forward to the most? My favorite episode is probably going to be between episode 30 or episode 31, mainly because I want to see Sarada actually fight with her Sharingans against a tough opponent. And also in episode 31, I want to see who that extra member that steps onto the battlefield is going to be. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Make sure you guys comment the first 15 minutes be featured my next Boruto episode. But it's been your boy Baara.